The corner of Calle Insurgentes and the road that leads out of town is yours now. That is what Miguel told you 2 nights ago. Yours to watch, nothing more. You stand here from 10 at night until 4 in the morning and you watch the road. And if you see a vehicle moving slow, looking, you send a message to a number saved in the phone they gave you under the name Pio. You do not ask what happens after you send the message. You do not need to know. You are 16 years old, and you are standing on a corner in Culiacan, Sinaloa at midnight, and the phone in your pocket is the most expensive thing you have ever owned. And Miguel is paying you 3,000 pesos a week to stand here and watch. 3,000 pesos a week is more than your mother makes in a month. You grew up 4 blocks from this corner. You have walked past it 10,000 times. You know the dog that lives in the house on the left, and the old man who sits on the porch of the house on the right, and watches everything, and says nothing. You know which streetlight has been broken for 2 years, and which one buzzes when it gets cold. You know this corner the way you know your own hands. Now it is yours to watch. That is how Miguel said it, like a gift. Your father left when you were 9. Not dramatically. He just stopped coming home one day, and then the days became weeks, and the weeks became the understanding that he was not coming back. Your mother works in a cleaning company that contracts with hotels in the city. She leaves at 5 in the morning and comes back at 7 at night, and she is tired in a way that has become permanent. A tiredness that lives in her face and her hands, and the specific way she sits down at the kitchen table at the end of the day. Like sitting down is the only thing her body has been waiting for since she stood up that morning. You have a younger brother who is 12. His name is Danny. He is better at school than you were. You tell him this regularly. He shrugs the way 12-year-olds shrug at things older people say. The school in your neighborhood has 40 students in a classroom built for 25. The teacher is competent and exhausted and underpaid, and she does what she can with what she has, which is not enough. You finished secondary school 8 months ago. Since then, you have applied for work at a supermarket, a car wash, a warehouse on the edge of the city that packages agricultural goods, and a construction company doing road work on the highway north of town. The supermarket said they would call. They did not call. The others said the same. In Culiacan, Sinaloa, you do not need to look for the cartel. You grow up next to it. You know which houses belong to it. You know which men work for it by the way they dress, the vehicles they drive, the specific ease of men who do not worry about money. When you were 12, a man on your street got a new truck. Black. Clean. Rims that caught the light in a way normal rims do not. You asked your mother who he worked for. She told you to go inside. You were 14 when you understood what the organization was and what it did and how it worked. Not from school, not from your mother, from being alive in this city and paying attention. The Sinaloa Cartel is the largest drug trafficking organization in the world, and its headquarters is the city you were born in and grew up in and have never left. And the relationship between that fact and the fact that you cannot find work at a supermarket is something you have had a long time to think about. Miguel approached you in March. You knew Miguel from the neighborhood. He was 23. He had a car and clean shoes and a phone that was better than anything you had ever held. He did not say he worked for the organization. He did not need to. You both knew what the conversation was before it started. He said he had heard you were looking for work. You said yes. He said he had something that might suit you. He said it paid well and it was not complicated, and it was a matter of being reliable and keeping your eyes open and your mouth shut. You asked what it was. He told you about the corner. You went home that night and you sat on the edge of your bed and you thought about it for a long time. You thought about your mother coming home at 7 with that tiredness in her face. You thought about Danny and school and the shrug he gives when you tell him he is better at it than you were. You thought about the supermarket that did not call. You thought about Miguel's car and his clean shoes and the phone he held like it weighed nothing. You said yes 2 days later. The first week on the corner, nothing happened. You stood there from 10 to 4 and watched the road and sent no messages and went home at 4:30 and slept until noon and woke up and ate and waited for 10 o'clock again. Miguel checked in twice, brief, professional, He asked if you had everything you needed. You said yes. He nodded and drove away. The second week, a vehicle came down the road moving slowly on a Wednesday at 1 in the morning. Dark colored, no plates. Moving the way vehicles move when they are looking for something. You watched it for 30 seconds, and then you sent the message to Tio, and you put the phone back in your pocket, and you kept watching. 4 minutes later, two trucks came from the north end of the street, and the dark vehicle stopped, and there were voices, and then the dark vehicle turned around and left the way it came, and the two trucks sat on the street for another 10 minutes, and then they left too. Miguel called you the next morning. He said, "Good work." He said you did exactly right. He said the organization noticed. The organization noticed. You are standing on the corner of Calle Insurgentes at 12:40 in the morning, and the road is empty, and the broken street light is dark, and the old man on the porch of the house on the right went inside 2 hours ago. The phone Miguel gave you is in your pocket. The number saved as Tio has not received a message tonight. 3,000 pesos a week. Your mother does not know where the money is coming from. You told her you found work at the warehouse. She asked which one. You described a warehouse. She was too tired to ask more questions. You have been putting money on the kitchen table every Friday morning before she wakes up, and the first Friday she asked about it, and you said it was your pay, and she looked at it for a long time, and then she put it in the drawer where she keeps the bills. She did not ask again. Danny got new shoes last week. You bought them. He wore them to school the next day and came home and told you his friend asked where he got them. You told him to say they were a gift. He shrugged. The road is empty. The corner is yours. The phone is in your pocket, and the night has 3 more hours in it. And somewhere in the city, the organization is doing what the organization does. And you are a 16-year-old boy standing on a street corner in Culiacan, Sinaloa, watching a road. And you have enough money for the first time in your life, and your brother has new shoes, and the kitchen drawer has bills in it. The street light buzzes once and goes quiet. You watch the road.